Yes.
Sir, can I say something really cringy?
Go ahead.
You're the reason I got into stand-up.
Start it
Hello, and we're back. Welcome to Are We Podcast, episode 47. We are sponsored by Love Pizza, Monte Carlo, and Prize Royale. And today we are very privileged to have our guest, Aaron Mccann.
How the fuck are we?
Clap emoji.
Good to be here, boys. That's very ETV live over there. Like.
It's very if you said my voice, if you were on about the apartment. The apartment.
The apartment is very Valentine, like.
The apartment's very casting couch.
I like it. I
love Pamela Valentine, but
so do I, lad.
I said, like, do you know when people have like comedy goals? I legit set one where like I'm going to be on UTV Live in 5 years.
She's our Oprah, like.
And I nearly got on it with the comedians boxing happened. Fucking Sean Haggerty got on instead.
The bastard.
So at least she knows my name. I've got one foot in the door.
I remember as well when she went on, my dad, or when he went on, I texted my dad and he says, "Oh, you know, Sean Haggerty was talking about Pete Giffen on UTV Live," and I said, "What he said?" He said he's a new comedian.
Well,
and he's going to kick his head in.
I hear he did.
No, you held your own, lad.
I held my own. Here, we might as well swap about comedians boxing. You had some fucking role in that thing.
Oh, I had a great time. I was blasted.
Toe Rogan.
I was Toe Rogan, like.
If anyone didn't see it, Mccann tried to do Joe Rogan, but ended up cosplaying Homer Simpson.
Yeah. Lad, I spent £30 on a fucking ball cap and it split in two within like 2 hours. Like, I was fuming. I was just sitting there being like, I put so much fucking effort into this. I got makeup done by Roland Boyle, who like,
and
no
that's the go-to.
When did it have it?
That says
like
volumes
fucking
about
it was a rough shift, like.
That says volumes about the NUAs and Strabane.
I was going to the box, but and I seen William walking down, and you were walking beside him, and I was like, that must be security walking William to the ring. It's like, make sure no one asks for a photo. And then
fucking Anzac have slipped up there, right? Like, you went, boy.
You went, alright, now, and I went, who's this?
I should have played into that. I should have just put on an accent for no reason. Just walked about like a fucking Belfast security guard.
Well, Franco, boy.
He came into the changing rooms by and I took one look at you. I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh,
and I was like,
so
I
good.
feel like I'm looking up a sack.
I know the girl came in for like, you know, the way they did like the serious speech and all.
She was taking it serious.
Being like, here, you know, this is how it goes, whatever. I just kept on looking over it, boys, just being like,
dope.
That was great crack though. I loved that night.
That was a good night. I remember at the after party, I don't know if you remember this, we sat for about 10 minutes just chatting about Clubland days.
Oh, sir.
When we realised that we might have went to Clubland
Do you
together.
remember? It's a core memory.
Oh, mate.
You told me in the after party as well about your ma thinking River Island was a Chinese.
True story. I tried to like put it into a bit where I'm like, my ma is thick, like not Cardi B thick, like Lenny from A Mouse and Men thick, and she's got osteoporosis, so she's actually feeble with anything. But I'm saying about
no twerking in her, but
no, just cracking. But I was saying like for her, like literally, I remember in secondary school, it's like, you know, you're from somewhere, there's fuck all to do. Me and the boys. Perfect day after school would be to go to Subway. Yeah. And then Oma has a Catholic and a Protestant Subway. So you know, I went to the academy, so you know, got to play in your house. Went to the Protestant Subway, and then we would do laps of River Island, looking at the new T-shirts that were in.
The Rihanna ones.
Lad, the peak fashion was 2006.
I know what you're gonna say. Yeah.
T-shirt, dollar tits out, and just a random city covered tits. So there'd be some dollar tits that would just say Tokyo. I love it. That's what I'm like. I'm like, is there Japanese kids walking about?
Drop
some dollar tits out? Finland.
Oh, God, Finland.
I remember my mum ringing me one day going, here, I picked you up some of them 11 degrees tops. All the kids are going,
have you the receipt?
So that's the worst, is like, and my mom's the most too, where like, she'll go into somewhere and she'll just pick out a random person working at the shop and be like, I'm a young fella, you know, what do you pick for him? And the guy always has the worst taste. Like, she comes back home with a pair of Lonsdales for fuck's sake.
There was one woman, we were in Top Man, and she goes, would you think my son would like this for Christmas? And it was a coat, and I was like, he literally looked like Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. Christmas when I'm wearing that.
My granny used to actually pick out men that were roughly the same size as my granddad and get them to go into the changing room and try it on.
Dude, that's
and like
hilarious.
just get some fella to come out.
I've had that before, but it's the most culty thing ever. You're in O'Neill's and like, I don't know if he's a small man tight fit or a medium man tight fit. And makes you put on like a Carlo jersey for fucking Christmas. Like, where can you down, you lad cunt? What do you have?
That's hilarious.
See with me, once it's tight fitting it.
Here, I don't know about you. Everyone's tight fit.
You can't wear GA tops anymore. they're all built for absolute fucking athletes. Back in the day, like
Speak yourself.
big Armagh top from 2002, but you could fit 2 fellas in that.
Sean, you've toned the GA down, but recently
I've toned it down.
Yeah.
That's because I have to pay to both sides of the
you've
community
gone
here. Like a
for
man's
Cork.
trying to sell tickets, make a living.
Clark Morgan has that market target.
Yeah.
I've got to fucking tone it back.
You're going to tour the Orange Halls,
yeah,
like you.
yeah. If you want to make it in this scene, you got to split the divide, you know.
walking into next week wearing a sash, be like, right guys.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm a half a Jaffa, so I just do it naturally. Like,
Yeah.
Are you actually?
yeah.
I
Mum,
wouldn't have invited you on.
Hey,
you smell that?
I absolutely love it, sir.
I did one of those like wee question and answer things on Instagram, and someone goes, "Why is there no prod comedians?"
That's right.
And I went, "There's loads." I know you've got a point actually. And then I listed Dave Elliott, and Dave Elliott messaged me goes, "I'm a half a Java. Take that down now."
there is 2 if you count William and then me and Dave as well.
But growing up in fucking Tyrone, boy, I wanted to ask, where about you from specifically in Tyrone? Oma, right?
Yeah.
You've gigged in LA, New York, London as well now.
Strabane.
Strabane.
Yeah. All the headers.
Tokyo, all the big ones. I want to know how have you found it from gigging here, living and growing up here, and moving over there? Has it been a bit of a culture shock, or do you think that's over exaggerated?
No, LA was definitely a culture shock because the only place I'd lived away from home was Belfast for uni.
Yeah.
And like even at that, I was living with like my mates from Oma, so
I was the same.
it never felt like anything different.
I was
like
the same, man.
even in halls and stuff, it never really felt like anything mad
You move
different.
away, but you're hanging about with the same guys you're in primary school, and you're like, what's the point in that?
Exactly, and like you're like the nightclubs you go to. Like I remember we used to go to Scratch, and it was just all Tyrone.
Yeah.
like it was in Scratch.
Did you have a corner or just the whole place to yourself?
We did have a corner, yeah, and we had a corner in the box too. You know, you went up the stairs, top right hand side was Tyrone and Fermanagh crew.
Yeah, I never realised that. Like some boys, this is our corner. Like you're not from our county, you get in our corner.
Oh, and they know rightly too if you're not.
Their own corner and Scratch and their own subway. Who says we're tribal? Like,
I tried chiving up to the
they
Fermanagh
took
corner.
the peace walls down, but fuck people built their own.
Armagh's that way, dickhead. You know.
Duck the way there.
Our mass corner stripe said the disabled box. Oh, sorry. Slide eggs from there.
But yeah, like I remember like moving to LA, it definitely was a culture shock because I lived in a house with 39 housemates.
What?
Yeah. It was like we lived
Alright,
in
Logan Paul.
we lived in, like,
Fucking mad.
no, it was not a TikTok house, it was a fucking mental asylum. It was
Seriously,
like
39 people in a house?
39 housemates, like including me, so it was 40 in total.
Jesus
and it was
Christ.
like 4 bedrooms, 2 girls' rooms, 2 fellas' rooms, and there was 10 like pod beds in each room.
What the fuck? Like a ship and alien?
Yeah. It was like, you know, like the wee Japanese businessman, like hotel pods. That's what I lived in for a year.
Where's Arnie?
What if you want to do a bit of...
So like,
bit of food there?
that's fucking creepy.
Did everybody get out? Like, right, tennies, get out there, do a bit of food there now.
Lad, it was mad because I've talked about this before, but like, even you can't like, you know, you can't pleasure yourself the same way you'd be spoiled then when you have
Yeah.
your own room. So like, if there's 10 fellas in a room and you know you want to
Depends
pull,
what they're into.
yeah, exactly.
That made up the game.
If you want to pull away yourself, like I used to have to just, you couldn't like do this, you know, the standard motion. You had to just like grip it until like something happened and then just go to sleep.
He learned to speak it.
Follow your dreams.
Sounds like a poetry slam, just fucking clicking away.
But yeah, it was like living there for a year was fucking. It was mad because the original plan was to get out there and then spend like a few months there and then like grab a few people from the house and move into just a normal house in LA.
Yeah.
But there was just so much was happening that it kind of became a bit addictive to live in an environment like that. You know.
You don't want to escape the bubble.
Exactly. It was like a cult, like, and you
Could
know.
you have done it like a TV show, like a full, like the
So
best
here-
reality TV ever?
So here's the funny thing. The company was called Upstart, right? And I think they owned like 4 properties in LA. And just before the pandemic, MTV had agreed to do a pilot episode
Fucking hell.
on the house, right? On one of the houses. And then COVID hit and the whole thing went out of business.
Do you know what I just pictured? Nordy Shore in real life.
Yeah, swear to God, lad. Swear to God.
That's mental, like.
But like, it literally, like, the guy who made this business was like he was like, I'm gonna be a fucking millionaire, and then bang, just the whole
Was he
business went
dodgy
under. Not like, I mean, dodgy in the sense that like you're sleeping in literally a bed that's the size of this table.
I'm sure hangovers were brutal as well.
Rotten, especially because it's like 10 other lads. And there's just always an Elon Musk of ball bag in the room, like
ball bag like that.
just rotten, sir. And like even for that space in LA with so many housemates, it was $700 a month, like
Per person?
What? Per person.
Was the boy who ran that was his last business called Jonestown?
Jesus Christ.
But like, you know, he'd spent so much money to buy the properties, get the work done, all this here shit. I don't know what fucking legal thing he would have had to went through as well, but it would have been like a windmill system. You know, you buy the windmill and then you don't make a pile of money till like years later. He was kind of going for the same thing.
It's not the same. You know yourself, but you
I just coined that, but and he was so close, man. God love him, you know.
He must hate the Chinese. Poor bastard.
But man, it was fucking crazy. But it was great for like the house itself was like they'd coined it as like a creative house, so it was so wanky because like when you applied to get into it, you had to like say why you wanted to move to LA and like what your craft was and all this.
Just love finger painting, Brett.
Sir, like. Some of the people I met there, I remember there was a guy there who was like a VR game designer.
Of course he was.
And like when I introduced myself to him, I was like, "Oh, like, how are you finding it all?" Like, it's weird, and I'm like, you know, first night in the house and all. And he was like, "Yeah," but he goes, "I'm on my second life." What? And like said it like earnestly, like sincerely. And I was like, "Oh, that's who's cooked the goose," and he lives above me, like. And he goes, "That's my second life." He's like, "Hopefully I'll do the right thing this time."
Send it straight off the bat. Like, you didn't ask him.
Didn't he? Like, barely knew his
It's not
name.
3 in the morning. He's just sharing a bag. It's just 8 in the morning.
But I will say the same boy. Shout out to Kyle. He made a VR game called Acid, which was literally just him recreating an acid trip he had. Right. And the end was you fell through space. So I took the Nile Reefer and played it, sir. I've been the same man since.
I wasn't like that.
Fucking DMT.
Were there any other comedians?
This is what you hate.
Sir, see you fall through virtual reality space. You'll think a few things about yourself.
That's why you decided to be Joe Rogan.
You get a few questions answered.
Were you the only comedian in the house, or were there a few others?
There was a couple of other ones, like, but it was like there was one other guy that was there, and he was like, "I've moved to LA to start stand up."
Oh Jesus!
And I was like, "This is gonna be a rough shift. Like, this is gonna be a rough shift." I think he like runs an escape room now or something.
I was gonna say he runs the club.
That's always the fear, though, right? Because obviously we're quite new to stand up, and the fear is a couple of years down the line, people go, "Did it work out for you?" No. But then the ultimate fear is, well, what do you do now? I run an escape room.
I still have that fear. I'm like, I'm keeping him on my Instagram in case I ever need to send a fucking thing on date to him or something.
Technically, that guy's VR acid trip. That's an escape room.
Yeah.
I mean, any room's an escape room if you took enough weight, you know.
Do you know what that house reminds you of, Joe? The opening scenes of Shawshank Redemption when he goes into the prison for the first time.
Yeah.
And you're all taking bets on who will cry first on the first night.
There was Shawshank vibes of the place. Like, I remember watching people come in and being like, "That bitch won't last there. She's weak."
Is there anybody who couldn't pay the rent? Right, guy, that's your pulled ejected.
Man, there was people like asking for money all the time.
Oh
like,
fuck, that's
Just
hard as
prison,
well.
like a wee Norwegian prison. Where it's nice. There's Wi-Fi, but you're still trapped.
We had 2 toilets as well. No, sorry, 3 toilets,
Fucking
but
hell.
2 like bathrooms. Like where there's like a shower and all.
Yeah.
So just a nightmare. Even like I worked in an advertising agency whenever I was out there, and like getting up to leave for work in the morning was a fucking nightmare because everyone was going at the same time.
Yeah.
All gender neutral, I take it, aye.
Oh,
Ahead of the game.
Very
progressive.
Fair play to the lambs. Fair play.
Yeah.
Is LA really sort of progressive and woke, sort of the comedy there and stuff?
No,
Or is it?
whenever I was there, I didn't really notice it too much. Nah, I know that is like a bit of a trope about it, but I didn't really notice it, to be honest. Like, I mean, like whenever I was there, you had shows like Kill Tony, where I was like watching that every week, being like, "Jesus, boys."
What's Kill Tony?
On there, like,
What's Kill Tony? I've heard of that.
Kill Tony's like a live podcast.
So would they get the guy up on stage and like roast a person?
So it's like you if you get pulled from the bucket, you get up and you do a minute of stand up.
Yes.
And then they have like a judges panel that will like either give you advice, roast you, like depending on how you do. Like,
have you did it?
I've done it a few times.
And what's it like?
so much fun.
But
So
Tony,
you're the person getting up, or you're the person on the panel?
I got pulled from the bucket a couple of times. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Tony Hinchcliffe seems savage, but like at times,
He
but
is.
in
He
person,
is.
is he
Too
like,
big for
yeah.
boots, I think. Like he's going fucking mad on people, like you're wrecking
Yeah.
their dreams. Like,
Oh,
you're all-
he is.
I don't need fat there now.
No, there is.
Bring that in, for God's sake.
Like, oh, come on, Tony. He's doing his best here. Fuck
Your
me.
boy there's got notions of himself.
Meanwhile, at RU Comedy Club, Red, bring the next one up.
It's
Keep moving.
rough, man. And they're doing it in Austin right now, and like I'm heading there now in a few weeks, and like to sign up, they literally put all the comedians in an alleyway. So
Yeah.
there's 200 comics in this alleyway,
Oh.
and they're waiting to see if they get on stage. And how you know is someone comes out with a fucking megaphone, calls your name, then you quit whatever you're doing, go up a flight of stairs, and then you walk through a door, and you're on the stage of the mothership.
That's insane.
But like, say coming from your pod, that's good customer service.
Yeah.
That's luxury.
It's like a comedy soup kitchen. It's fucking
It is.
weird.
It's lit. You fucking nailed it. It's a comedy soup kitchen.
What do you call the boy who,
Cuisine de France on offer.
he used to do the thing with the Norm Show, Adam Egan.
Oh god.
Yes.
He was saying like when Mitzi Shore used to be a comedy store and people would go on and she would have to watch them, he would always never be able to understand why. She just went, nah, they're not good enough, and send them off.
Yeah.
Then I was doing that for 2 weeks. I
Yeah.
just got it.
Adam, I think, books the mothership now.
Does it?
I
Yeah.
think he's the booker for that club, yeah.
He just says the amount of people that come on now and he suddenly gets how she felt. We were just like, I've seen 2 minutes of them. I know they're not going to do it. Like,
2 minutes, like.
It's rough, like.
That's pretty. Jinkies could do it. Would you do it?
Kill
Like, would
Tony.
you put your name to be in the bucket to go
Yeah.
up?
just to say you've done it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good crack. But it's just
Full
like you kind of have to be. The first 60 seconds seems like you have to be quite funny, but after you kind of have to keep murdering. Is that a fair reflection of it?
Like in the interview, yeah, like they'll try and like tee you up for like a decent story and stuff like that. Yeah.
To give you a bit more. Like, have you ever seen? Obviously not, but your videos of them are fucking brilliant.
What, sorry?
The videos you have
the
on Kill
Dublin
Tony
one
are
and all?
great.
Oh, thank you, man. There was one, like, I remember the first one I ever did was, it was Greg Fitzsimmons. And, like, I'd been going for, like, 12 weeks in a row, never got called. So you kind of just go there just to, like, I love watching the show, so I would go there just to watch. Comedians got on it for free if they signed up. And, like, I went through 12 weeks of just not getting called, so I was like, I don't know, just call down for the crack. And then I did get called, and it was like, I was like, oh, fuck. And then you're walking on to the stage at the Comedy Store, main room, packed out, and this is a podcast that I've listened to for years, like, and I don't know what the fuck happened. I wouldn't really, like, I think I've had like 2 panic attacks in my life, but I was close that time because I came on stage and I was like, holy shit, this is the main room in the Comedy Store. Like, I listened to this podcast, now I'm on it, and it just
Out of
freaked
body
me out
experience,
too
sort of,
much.
yeah.
It was too much, and then I kind of like got away with the set, kind of didn't really give them anything in the interview, was pretty dog shit. And then the second time I did it was Tom Segura was the guest
Fucking
host
hell.
or guest judge, and there was like a record breaking amount of sign-ups that night.
Fuck.
So I was like, I have no chance of getting on, like, and I was like the first or second called up.
That's mental.
But I'd
Little boy
had
from
my set,
Rosario.
I had my minute going in my head, so I was like, fuck it, just hit all the things you have to do. Did that, and I remember like very few times ever, like most gigs I do, I'll come off and I'll be like, fuck, you know, I should have said this, or I should have did this, or that wasn't as good as it could have went. But there was a moment where like I did a bit and it got like an applause break, and I was like, suck my dick.
Is that the one? Because I think there's one where they go like, you need to find Ricky Gervais and do support for him or some shit like that. That one,
which was mad, like, and to be fair, like, because I just heard all these horror stories from these comedians in LA, and they were like, oh yeah, man, I wouldn't bother doing that show, like,
So
you
it
know.
is the better ones who've had a bad experience, they're going to be the ones to tell you that.
They weren't ready
That's
for
what
it.
it is. And then like I did it, and he was so nice to me, and like give me like, even they came to do a show in Dublin, and they booked me to be like a, you know, guaranteed minute that night.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fucking class, like. So yeah, no, and when I did that spot with Segura, was the guest judge, I got so many more gigs out of it just from that 1 minute.
Yeah.
Like,
Fucking
so-
hell. Fucking hell.
So that was great.
What you were saying there as well about like your comedian, you come off like, fuck, I should have said that. Would you be a comic that's quite hard on yourself after a set, and like, where have I gone wrong there? Or?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty bad. I should enjoy myself more. To be
It
honest.
surprises me, because I wouldn't have
Yeah.
maybe imagined that about you. Maybe
Yeah,
it's just
very
because you're quite
happy-go-lucky.
like a happy-go-lucky guy.
Oh,
But
I am,
I
like-
wouldn't imagine you being harsh on yourself.
I'm a real day by day, like, you know, breezy hooer, like.
Yeah.
But when it comes to that, like, I do, like, most times I come off and I'm like, I think what it is is like whenever you do like a show and whatever amount of variables link up, whether it's like the venue you're doing or if it's like just the right audience and the right night or whatever, or the person that went on before you killed or died, depending on what happened, you just have like a set where you're like, I can't do any better than that. But then that fucks you up because that's your bar for yourself then.
You need to beat that.
And if you don't get that, you're like, well, I wasn't. But that's so unrealistic. Like, I know, even saying it out loud, I'm like, that's an irrational thought.
Yeah.
But I can't help how my brain is.
That's one thing I'm quite grateful of, that I am quite rational. Whether something goes good, I know not to get ahead of myself, or if something goes bad, I know not to beat myself up. But because I think if I wasn't, I'd go fucking nuts. Thinking about gigs, like it would be bad for me, like. But then one thing
Boys, I haven't eaten my dinner yet. Can you hear my belly rumbling on the recording?
Oh, I can hear it.
It sounds like
I can hear it. Yeah,
That would make Thunder humble, like, wouldn't it?
it would, mate. That's scary me.
That's absolutely terrifying. Like, do you know what you need, lad?
What?
You need a love pizza.
Oh, that's a good suggestion. That
I love that kind of suggestion, boy.
that's going to sort out your rumble and your retumble.
Especially today on the 2 for Thursday deal.
Oh boy, stop it.
You
We
are
record
absolutely sorted today.
we record every Thursday, so I'm just thinking, like, before this gig, big pizza. Sides, boys. Are we doing sides?
Mate, fuck it, on your birthday.
Why not just get one of their big deals, lad, and get it all? Whatever you want, lad.
Let's bring it in.
Here, tell you what, we'll just order it on their brand new app, will we?
Get the app up here.
Can I propose something? Garlic dip.
Got it.
Got like at the gig, I'll be walking up to people going, "All right, darling."
Gorgeous. Love
if you-
pizza.
And if you want delicious food from Love Pizza, get on their app and download their food today. It's fucking class.
Check it out.
I want to talk about, and this is going to fucking sound pretty wanky, like, but I want to talk about it. Like, you've always struck me as someone who, like, a do-it-yourself sort of attitude. The fact that even, like, deciding I'm going to go to LA, I'm going to go to New York, I'm going to do London. One of the few people from the scene, I don't know, maybe it's just because you're sort of a young person, maybe sort of the older guys, maybe they have wives and kids, they're not able to fucking break away, but just that sort of, I'm going to go and do something different, like, was that a conscious decision of, like, I'm going to go, like, I'm doing well in this scene, but I want to go try different things?
I mean, I think I was just always like a big fan of like American stand-up, like, because I wasn't actually like that big of a fan of comedy before I started. So like, I knew about Bridges, I knew about McIntyre, Lee Evans, and that was kind of it, and Tommy Tiernan obviously as well. Sorry, but like that was kind of it in terms of like my actual knowledge of stand-up.
Like Saturday night TV stand-up, you didn't know, like, the club scene.
Yeah, exactly. And then like when I got exposed to the local circuit, I was like, what the fuck? Why is nobody talking about this at the time? And then when I started, I like, you know, started gigging more, started like getting really, I'm very like obsessive. So like if I like something, I dive in, music, fucking food, anything, like I'll just like get up really obsessed with it. So stand up, I did exactly that. And I just found that most of the comedians that I sort of gravitated towards in terms of watching were American. And this is besides the local boys, like always been a big Chappelle fan since I started, Bill Burr, Gerard Carmichael, Hannibal Buress, like Chris Rock, like people like this. And then recently, like Shane Gillis is probably my favourite comedian at the minute. So I kind of remember being like, well, fuck, like why not like live out there, see how it is, and sure, if you like it, you know, you could figure out how to get out there, and if you don't like it, then fuck it, you know. That's there's class. Nothing wrong
Try
with
something
it.
different.
Nothing wrong with trying it. And then when I lived in LA, I remember being like, oh yeah, this, like, it feels so like your imposter syndrome really kicks in, I think, anyway, for me, because I remember being out there, I'd be like, fuck, this is different gravy here, boys, like, you know.
How many times a night would you gig there normally in LA, or would it take a while to
not
get
as much as I
established?
would have liked it, to be honest, because it was like, you know, if you had, say you had like one gig, like I didn't drive, so I'd be Ubering from the house to the gig and then back. So like I'd be lucky to be getting one a night, whether it's like in New York, you can just bounce off
subway to subway.
And you can like do like 4 spots a night, which is amazing. But I went out there like last year for 2 months just to see, like, I was kind of getting serious about possibly moving there. And then I was lucky to open up for Shane Gillis like last year, and I was talking to him about the move and stuff like that, and he watched my set when I opened for him, and he was like, yeah, I think New York would be good for you.
Lethal.
So I was like, you know, I was kind of, you know, I was like very taken aback. I was like, this guy's my fucking favorite. And he's telling me that it wouldn't be a bad move. So I think that gave me enough confidence to be like, well, fuck it. You know, give it a shot. I don't think I would have done it without that, maybe.
Really? Maybe needed that wee bit of a
bit of
posture, like.
And see the Shane Gillis thing, was that a Hail Mary shot, or did you get connected to him, or how the fuck that come down? That was mad at the time, I remember seeing that.
So, fuck, right. I don't think I've ever told this actually. So, how.
Good job.
So you normally get the dregs.
An extra 30 views.
They're cool. Sorry, so how'd you get in with Shane then?
Dude, so literally, so this I have to say thanks to a friend of mine, Peter, because he's this guy. He's like he just sends DMs to whoever.
Right,
He'll just DM anybody, and I remember the first time seeing it, being like, "Dude, are you fucking mental?" And he's like, what's the worst that can happen? Is either they don't read it.
Just be polite.
Yeah, he's like, they don't read it, or they read it and they don't get back to you. He's like, that's 100%.
Yeah.
But he was like, so many people will just immediately out themselves by being like, I can't DM that person.
Who does he think he is?
Exactly.
I think I have a king for being left on red. Just hey, open for you. All right, no worries. Next game.
So Gillis put up that he was doing Leicester Square Theatre. So the Ireland gig hadn't been announced at all at this stage.
Yeah, right.
So he put up about the Leicester Square Theatre gig. I just liked the story. And then I remember the day after that I did the Ulster Hall. So the Ulster Hall was like, that was my biggest gig I've ever done. I was fucking so in my head about it because it had to be rescheduled so much for the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then when I finally got to do it, the next day, like my whole family was round. We were having like a couple of drinks, eating food.
Nice,
real nice, just real nice environment. And I was just sort of in the corner in the chair, just flicking through Instagram, just randomly. And then he'd put up like a picture of the seating chart for Leicester Square Theatre. So I just replied to it being like, oh man, like I got to play there just a couple of months ago. I was like, it's a fucking amazing venue, you're gonna have a great time. And then I just sent that, and then I looked down at my phone, just seeing the fucking brightness come on, and I was like, what the fuck's that? And it was Shane Gillis liked your message, and I was like, sir.
Yeah, I felt like we're in it.
And I told my sister, like, she knows everything about me. She knows how big of a fan I am of him. So she was like, aren't you fucking mental? Like, ask him to open.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. That's mental. That's insane. And then she's like, this is the kind of stuff that like you're gonna regret if
It's
you don't.
your moment, man.
Take the opportunity, just do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, kind of going back and forth with my own head, and I was like, and I had a few drinks as well, so I was
People
like,
Go ahead.
So I sent the message, and I was like, man, you're gonna have a great time there. And I was like, also, I'm a huge fan of yourself, like listen to the podcast every week. I was like, if you needed an opener, I would go over to London and do it for free, not a bother.
100%.
And I'd sent it, and he read it, didn't respond,
And your ass went.
and I was like, Colin, you stupid bitch, you realize you fucked everything up.
Domestic in the middle of family party.
Like, I don't want the fucking cake, right? I was fuming, right?
Tens of Stella just fucking fuck's sake.
Dude, I was so embarrassed. And then she was like, listen, she's like, that's what it comes at in terms of like taking a risk, taking an opportunity. She's like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the main thing is you took it. And I was like, get this self-help bullshit away from me right now, right? And then 20 minutes later, like, I looked at my phone and I'd seen Shane Gillis liked your photo. And I was like, is he fucking drunk or something?
It's like you're trying to get a girl's attention. Like in a bikini photo you in 2017.
It was very similar vibes. Like, it felt like I was on MSN Messenger in 2006.
Him checking out your Visco.
So we inside joke, folks, for all the people from home.
So then,
Yes!
fucking Sniper McAleavey.
He's been camping over there. And the bus is
I
like,
used the fucking ghillie suit on for that one.
I'm the Claymore in the back door.
You've been waiting to take me out all this set.
Tagging surgeon behind the sofa.
quick scope there with intervention across the room.
Sean's gonna get a message like, cut that bit out, sorry. Cut that out.
I edit the pod, not a chance. That's my moment of fame.
So 20 minutes later, he liked the photo, and then I was like, oh fuck. And then he wrote back being like, I actually already have a friend opening the show, but if you want to do time, you're more than welcome. And I was like,
fucking
holy
lethal, sir.
shit. And then I was like, well, he had such an out there, because he could have just went, no, you're grand, I have someone opening.
100%, yeah.
And then, so I was just like, holy shit. And then you kind of, I don't know, you should never have expectations of people because it's like, you know, they're their own person and you only know them through like a podcast or a video or whatever. But he is the exact same guy. Like, he's the
That's class.
nicest
100%,
fucking dude. Like, just a regular guy that figured it out. Like, it's great.
I love
It's
that.
fucking lethal. One of the things I want to ask as well, just about when you started stand up, because I love hearing people start off. Did like the sort of guys who were older than you, did they take you under the wing straight away, or did you have to sort of earn them? Or
Big time. I wouldn't be jack shit if it wasn't for Geddes, Mickey, Shane, like all them boys. Like, big time. Particularly Geddes, because like he was the person that I wandered up to, and I was done Oma.
Oh,
I
sorry.
was like, here, how do I get started in this stand-up carry on, you
Yeah.
know? And I didn't even know that there was a fucking comedy club in my town, like in
Daly's,
Oma.
yeah,
there was
Daly's
Daly's,
Hall then, was
you know?
it? Yeah.
So then did my first gig there, and then that was it, like, you know?
You did your first in Daly's.
First ever gig in Daly's.
I love
That's lethal,
Daly's.
like.
Daly's is
Full
fantastic.
class.
Yeah.
Daly's is great.
It's the warmest room, I think, when like the January 2023 one that we done together. It was fucking
Yeah,
lovely.
lovely.
Like,
They're a great crowd. It's like Oma and Derry are very similar in terms of like, you know, it's a safe bet for a good gig.
Yeah.
You know.
That's class. Guys, we're fucking right from through there. Before we
Yeah.
get into questions, have you any other things? Any other
I was
topics
just going to
you
ask
wanna
the show that your Waterfront Hall show. Where did the title come from? Killing with Kindness. I just really like to know where the show titles come from. Is there
talk about? I love a show title.
a bit
Yeah.
behind it? Is there?
What was the original title gonna be? Fuck. I had something else I was gonna call it, and then I changed it
Vegan
last.
Subway.
Fisco.
Good Night Irene was gonna be the
Yeah.
name of it, and I think that actually came from wrestling, where a combination of wrestling and my dad, who I remember whenever Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem had beef.
Yeah.
So my dad didn't like rap music at all, but loved Eminem.
Oh, go away.
Because he's racist, and he loved Eminem, loved it. Like, I'd play it for him, and he'd be bopping his head, and like the only thing he bops his head for, bar out, is Garth Brooks. Like, so
A
he
bit of
was,
the DOD. Like.
he was loving it,
We're in the Thunder Road.
and I told him, I was like, Dad, Machine Gun Kelly, this rapper, has put out a song dissing Eminem. He's like, you're fucking joking.
He thought it was
Yeah.
Jerry Kelly.
He couldn't believe it. So I put it on the TV, and I maxed out the volume, and he, God love him, he was in the show bands all his life, so he could barely hear. So he had his ear to the TV like this here, and he's like, what the fuck's he at? Right?
Is he wise?
And then literally a week later, Eminem made a diss in response to Machine Gun Kelly's one, and I was like, Dad. I was like, you're not gonna believe it. Eminem's responding to your man, and he's like, holy fuck, right, get it up there. So I put it on the TV again, max out the volume, and Eminem had a line in that diss where he was like, had to give you a career to destroy it.
Yeah.
And my dad, I'll never forget it, took his head back from TV and goes, oh, good night, Irene.
Have you done material with that?
You know what's
That's
so funny?
unreal.
Yeah.
I tried to do it in Larry's one night, and I don't know if you've had this. It's like one of them stories.
Is that too nice of a story?
Yeah.
Where they're
Too
too
personal
boisterous?
almost.
But it's almost like it's such a weird, funny story that when you try and tell it, you're like, I don't really know how to punch or tag it up, or
Yeah.
make it a wee bit more. It's
too
you know what I
real.
mean? It is.
Yeah.
It's
Just
too real.
and actually.
Where's the big closure there? Like?
Because that's just all that happened. There is no you know what I mean?
One of the things I love about it.
Well, that's it. What can he do? Put him in a corner there.
Exactly.
He's put him in the throne corner box. One of the things I love when you do talk about comedy, it's a lot of old boy. Talk about what old boys do. We were at a film festival in Black Box on Tuesday, and there's this one guy who does all the film presentations in Belfast, and I turned to my dad and went, he must have the owner of Black Box nudes. And my dad was like, how do you get them? Seriously?
In for it with him.
Dude, there's nothing better than just oil boys just chopping
You want to
up
say
there.
non-bad and getting someone's suits? Like, hang on here.
Let him blackmail a boy with his
We'll
nudes.
draw the line somewhere there.
Have you heard about that fapping, sir? Why have them all together, right? Them dogs taking pictures in the phones.
That's unreal. We'll go into questions,
Yeah.
will
I asked my group chat for questions, and they sent it to an AI. So they did. Let's see what
we?
the AI
Questions
is.
in the AI.
Yeah, they asked what the question
By
was.
the way, did you see that thing, Michael Schumacher's family?
What was that?
So,
Oh yes, I did.
there's a
Mental.
newspaper in Germany, or a magazine, and they done an AI generated interview with Michael Schumacher. Now, Michael Schumacher, remember he had the accent, and
Yeah.
he's like,
In a
like from
coma
a
now?
brain dead or something. But they did an AI generated interview with him. I was like, this is what he would say. Posted it on like the front page, like him smiling and all, and like basically did an interview as if he's all tickety boo, and the family's like,
I hate this
What
shit.
the
the
family
shit,
are
like-
suing them, be like,
Yeah.
nah, you can't be at that. Like.
No, I don't like that at all.
Dodgy, like.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It freaks me out. Even there was like a Drake AI song with The Weeknd.
Yes,
On the
Seen that,
two-pack
yeah.
one as well.
And they like had to make like
Pulled it from
the record
Spotify
companies were like,
and
all? Yeah.
get this out to get it off. And also the song shit.
I didn't listen to it. Like.
It's like, you know, it's got like a fucking like piano, like very basic piano. It actually sounds like the Goosebumps theme song a little bit. It's weird. Yeah.
For anyone that didn't know the Goosebumps theme tune, like, there we are. Great.
Straight off the bat, one of
I
the
didn't know you could beatbox.
Sing George Charles one
If
there.
tonight's gig is going rough, here, do you want to hear the Goosebump thing?
What about the Goosebumps theme song? That'd be actually a badass walk-on song. The Goosebumps theme song.
What's the name? Good day, Harry.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next act, you're going to love him. Dun, 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 dun. Oh,
I can't wait.
beware, you're in for a
I
sketch.
can't wait. You're going to try that tonight. You've built this up in your head.
Oh, so you gotta. Take a swing at that.
Swing of this.
So we asked the question.
So this is
the AI.
ChatGPT
Yeah, question.
podcast questions.
Question for a comedian, and the question was: should the police be defunded?
Since when did this turn into the Nolan show?
Question for a comedian.
Holy fuck, sir.
That's like a Joe Rogan, Ben Shapiro podcast question. That's
Yeah,
fucking
that's
mental.
insane. Like,
Question for a
that
comedian.
is mental.
The PSNA. Or you see, same name, different name, discuss.
So the ChatGPT, it's
See, not seen them landovers are doing alright. Fuck's sake.
maybe that's why we want to answer them. I don't know how to answer it.
we were at a house party, right? Like proper 2 a.m. kitchen talk, and my mates were talking about AI. And someone was, oh, but you get like at the point like it does stand up bits and all that, and I was like, bullshit.
Yeah.
Can't do AI stand up. It's a craft. It's an art. You know,
Yeah.
we need humans to do it. And my mate went, give me like a subject matter that you do material about, and do the Nutty Cross bit I
Yeah.
do. We put it in. No, we didn't write Nutty Cross because we wouldn't know what that is. We put in bread. AI generated. It was almost word for word what my actual material was. I was like,
Oh, mate.
like obviously it wasn't the same. It wasn't that far away. I was like,
no.
oh fuck. Like we are fucking screwed here.
The AI
Like,
would have
shit.
Oh, shit. I'm a hack.
I started saying that sentence and in my head I went, nah, it's you. You're the problem.
No better than that. They're artificial intelligence.
You know what shit joke I do about bread? What are the computer doing? What about the computer doing and shit?
Could you not get the computer going bled on the mic? The computer doing your bit.
That should be a thing
Clear
for
the
comedians.
goosebumps again.
That should be AI for comedians. Hack GBT, where you take a topic you're looking to do and throw at that and see what it comes up with.
Oh, so
That's so
AI
funny.
in the bath.
That's hilarious, man.
Right.
The AI, I hope I last longer than the first time I had sex.
See, some boxer did that. At his press conference, some boxer was making his pro debut, and he was doing the wee press conference, and he did that joke. I hope it lasts better than the first time I lost Virginia. Everyone killed himself, and I was like,
Oh, fuck.
"It's come from bread AI guy." Like, that's it.
What's your favorite one? Like the one I love is like when someone says something horrific, and then they're like, "It's the last funeral I ever done. Did I tell you that?"
Joe's been killing me at the open mic night we do. Like everyone will get on like, sure, it's new material anyway, and you're like 8 acts deep. Like, shut the fuck up. we understand. Like,
Or when someone says like when someone goes on and goes, "This night's shite."
But then they're ripping the audience.
just gaslight the front row. You're the problem. You're the fucking problem.
I love it. I actually do kind of love saying it. I love someone going up and being like, "This is fucking shit. I don't even want to be here." And you're like, "Oh, this person's about to rip."
So who's a good man for that? Fraser Robb.
Oh, I
You want a can of whoop ass? I'll give it to you, sir.
I
They
love
go
watching
back to
Fraser
the
Robb.
future.
Yeah. Unsung hero of the scene.
Kyle Milligan does living in. Oh, well, we've kind of already touched on this. Does living in other places doing comedy, does it make you a better comedian? Do you
I'll
feel like you
take,
came
I'll
away?
take this one. No.
That's a little bit better, but like
No?
it definitely like it.
Experience, maybe?
You don't get. It gets you out of like writing colloquial, because like see whenever my first few years in, like you couldn't have took any of my material and did it anywhere but here.
No.
So when you fuck off somewhere, like I remember the first time gigging in London, and I did the beat the gong.
Yeah.
And I think I lasted 3 minutes, like 3 minutes 30-something seconds. And I was hitting them with everything I had, man. And I was just eating dick the whole time, eh? And I got booed off stage.
Lethal.
Oh,
And that, I tell you what, I had a few thoughts in the plane home that night.
The goosebumps being spooky.
are those beat the gong shows proper, like, you know, like fucking like League One corner flag situations? You got the boys in the corner, you fucking can't throw shit up, because I've heard there's gigs like that over there.
They're so rough. Like, I remember whenever I lived in London, I was like, right, I'm gonna book myself and do it to, you know, redeem myself. Yeah. And I still had shit. I think I lasted shorter. I was like, I got worse after 9 years.
Oh fuck.
But no, it's like,
Redemption tale that goes wrong.
it's like, talk about variables in a gig. There's so many variables in that, because like, I remember, like, we did a thing at Vauxhall Comedy Club that's like, yeah, it's like a friendly gong show. So like, I would have been like a guest judge in the whole pile, and like it's trying to encourage acts to like come on and do like 3 to 5 minutes, and you like people try and give like advice after and stuff like that. Whereas
like a friendly Kill Tony kind of thing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And
You
like,
know what day that's on?
huh?
What day that on? Because I do Vauxhall next week.
Sunday?
Oh no, I'm doing the Wednesday. That's okay.
Oh no, you're alright.
Oh, alright then. Okay.
Yeah, you're alright.
It's unfair. I was like, I didn't know this was it.
Yeah, but it's like whether it's those beat the gong shows or like, I mean, you can get lucky. Like, if you go down and you fucking are aggressive from the start, and you know, always
Straight out the
here,
gate, like.
you can fucking get through it. Like, but it's a rough shift. Like.
The only one I did's the frog. The frog and
I've heard
bucket,
it's
like.
a wee bit like,
It was,
nicer.
I wouldn't say it was brutal. Like,
Yeah.
definitely got gonged off. Like,
But they didn't boo you after, like,
No,
this
they-
guy had it. SpongeBob, oh brother, this guy stinks. Naomi Mitchell asked.
We don't need a soundboard, we just need you to
Bum, bum, bum.
550 quid for a roadcaster, just have Kieran on the podcast.
On that goes well, listen, boy. Naomi Mitchell asks, what's the worst thing you've ever been sent? Sean sent me a wee girl's visco.
No comments, sir.
what's the worst thing you've ever been sent?
Yeah. So, like, I think that means sturdiness. Like, she says I've been sent
That's
some
Naomi
awful.
probably.
Yeah.
What's the worst nude you've ever got?
Yes.
I had like a friend that was really into, like, you know them live league videos where it's like just people
Getting
getting
beheaded?
killed.
No.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's some crap, man. I'm like, that's
You been that? Would you perform alone? Jesus Christ.
Oh, is that what you're bred for?
The worst ones I had of those was like that, but only unsuspecting ones. So it'd be like girl doing gymnastics and then landing their neck and
oh, Jesus Christ.
So like at least with the beheadings, you can see the scene. You're like, I know where this is going. With the gymnastics, you're like, fucking double discipline. It's like, ah, shit.
Pete, after my birthday, you know, you were a bit hungover. You know, what did you decide the grub would be that would, you know, evidence wake me up and said?
I thought about it. I debated it. I took a lot of time. I did a lot of research. Collected a lot of data. Put into a spreadsheet. And what I decided was the best option was Monte Carlo in Lurgan and in Belfast. They were the top two answers because they're in two different places. Know what I mean? Monte Carlo.
He got out of bed and he drove hungover. From
No, I
Monte
didn't. I
Carlo.
got them delivered. Like, let's not lose the run of
Oh,
ourselves.
is it? Oh, right.
Because they deliver as well.
They deliver as well.
They deliver as well.
So why the hell are you guys not getting Monte Carlo?
You didn't even need to get out of bed.
No.
Did you just let the delivery driver
I
come
was
in?
naked when I ordered it, and I was naked when I had it. Monte Carlo.
Get it in you.
Perfect. They're always in like old boy football groups, and then
Stand the glue.
after they send the ISIS beheading, they'll send a photo of their beer going, "Cheers, lads, happy Friday."
That's my uncle.
Right, folks, I'm organising paintball here for Stevie's stag.
For a second divorce. I'd rather watch a fucking ISIS beheading than someone like rolling an ankle. See something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Get away. Like,
Yeah.
Or like skateboard injury or
It's
something
like
like
that video. Joe, you know what's the worst? Fucking Mccann, I know it's a hot topic. Mccann breaking his leg.
Oh,
That's
I
the
know
one-
that,
that is the worst video ever.
I
Like,
can watch that video, but I can't listen to it because you can hear his
You
ankle.
can.
going.
You can.
again, it's one of them ones you don't expect it. He didn't jump off a cliff. He jumped off a curb.
Man,
He fucking
like,
snapped him.
What a
like.
video.
The distance.
It's
Like,
ridiculous.
it's actually crazy that broke that man's ankles.
His vertical jump has to be higher than that. Like, what the fuck?
Mental.
Just control alt deleted for about 6 months recovery.
William was telling me that he lay on the ground for like the full song after. Being like, "Lads."
The man could commit suicide off a curb, like.
Meanwhile, Mickey's just got his hole out in the back.
Sure, what, it was the best advertisement for the comedian staff to ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
fucking hell.
fucking, he did God's work there, so he did.
That was the essence of the NI comedy scene right
That's
there.
us summed up. Will Ray asked, well, he's been a He's asked 2 questions here. Worst sleeping arrangement you've had after a gig?
LA.
Probably, to be fair, nothing really beats once you've slept in the pod for a year, you'll take anything. Like,
Serious,
I
yeah.
have friends who are like, oh man, all I've got is a sofa, and I'm like, this is a dream. There's not 10 other people in this room. I'll take it.
I can wank in peace.
Exactly.
He also asked, what's the worst bit of material they've ever written? Something that I can do.
What would be the worst bit I've ever
Or even just like
written?
a shite bit that you can remember that you used to do. Or maybe just like a...
I remember I used to have this bit about having too much cheese before bed, and then like having this dream where I bucked Carl Vorderman, but there was like no punchlines in it. I was just like showing off.
It was just
my
truth.
dream creativity.
Shut up your imagination.
You can lucid dream.
There was none to it. Like,
It's like weird CBT therapy.
yeah, no, I wrote some absolute dog shit when I was starting off. Like I think I even remember using like kind of like street jokes nearly, where it was like,
I thought you were going to say a slur.
well, true, you know, standing ovation. But I was like, you know, like how your dad would be like, oh, I haven't seen you all year, no, just like repeating that shit on stage.
Yeah.
You know,
Fucking hell.
Some of the stuff we done in the Speakeasy show, I look back on and I'm like, remember I used to do a joke about going to see Strictly Come Dancing and Jerry Kelly was the guest, but I was just telling that story.
that's what I mean. Sometimes you just tell stories.
We're still in our shade era. A year and a half,
100%.
2 years in, like you're allowed to be shit.
Yeah.
Like it's fine.
We're going to be shit for 5 years. Like, we're not going to be anywhere near good for ages.
That's why I'm
Like,
doing the Goosebumps stream tonight. Just
gotta try new stuff out.
See, it's like, but it's a weird thing though, because you're not though, because it's like you're, how do I describe this? Any of you boys into the martial arts?
I've watched the UFC once.
And any done
I like
any
Bruce
martial
Lee, like.
arts?
I fought in Ulster Hall.
I see how I don't leave with that. I'm like, no, don't talk about it.
It's like, it is like I used to do judo whenever I was away, and like 7 stone ago, and it was like white belt. You know, you start off and it's like you're watching like a black belt, and you're like, how the fuck do you ever get to that level?
Yeah.
And then you don't notice yourself getting better, but then you bump up to red belt, and then again you don't notice any like dramatic change or anything.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, you're just progressing along with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Especially if you gig often, I think. If you gig
Absolutely.
often, it'll just happen gradually. Like, I did like the Empire the other week there, and just I got hackled throughout loads, and it came off, and I went, 6 months ago I would have fucking crumbled there, but I didn't notice that I've gotten that ability of dealing with hackers. It just happened gradually.
Exactly. That's what
it came off. I was like, I actually got through that. I would have shit myself earlier.
100%. And you never, the kind of demented thing about stand-up, and the nice thing is that you kind of never really stop learning, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, like there's, nobody is beyond dying in their hole.
No.
That's the best part about it. You know?
yeah.
Do you know what, though? Do you know, even you saying it, there's people that don't believe it. Do you know what I mean? You don't really believe it, that your level of death is obviously different to our level of death.
No, I can still eat.
But
I can
everyone's
eat-
capable of eating
No,
shit.
yeah, but that's what I mean. But like,
absolutely.
that's what I mean. But there was a long time I was like, he just says that. He just says that.
Yeah.
But
No,
it's
you
fucking- it happens,
literally, like, I remember, like, I'm trying to think of me most, like a brutal recent one. I remember, like, sometimes too, it's a case of, like, a gig, and I used to think you could never blame the audience. You absolutely can. I remember one time going to a gig in New York, and it was one of them ones where I walk in the bar, and I goes to the fella behind the bar. I was like, "Hi, how's it going? I'm here for the gig tonight." And he goes, "Yeah, no problem. We're starting up in 10 minutes." And I was like, "Is it like upstairs or downstairs?" And he goes, "No, this is it." And I was like, "Well, this is a fully operational bar, like."
Yeah.
And then I just had to be
Fuck
in
that.
the corner,
Yeah.
being like, "So I'm from Ireland, folks. Fiddly diddly dee."
Was there any MC or anything going on
There
there?
was an MC going on, but like he didn't command anything at all.
Yeah.
And even to like, even beyond that, like, say you have a great room, if you're doing a new bit, like, you know, you're essentially, the creation of a new bit is you in your own head being like, I think that's kind of funny. And then you go on stage and you say it, and people either go, it's kind of funny, or they go, the fuck's wrong with you, sir?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
But
you're
those
never
rooms don't
beyond
give
that.
it justice either, like, for
Yeah.
the new bit, and you may lose faith in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, sometimes you just have to kind of stick with it as well. But like, yeah, everyone is capable of dying.
100%.
The thing as well is, at least with comedians, so there's legs of that. The audience aren't giving you that. They're not
Yeah.
giving you, there's legs of that, sir. You're just fucked.
I love a good death. Like.
Yeah.
I love watching a good death.
Do you remember I wrote a bit?
It's so funny.
It's only funny when it's your mates, I
Yeah.
think. It's
Yeah.
not, see if it's like an open mic or someone new, you're just like, oh,
You feel
this
harsh,
hurts.
yeah.
This hurts. Like, but when it's like, say anyone else, it's funny as
See if
fuck.
I come off and I know I've had a bad gig, and somebody I half know goes like, "Fuck, I wasn't too bad." I go, "Mate, don't like,
Just give me a straight.
slag me.
Don't. Yeah.
Go." I was
But
shit.
that's also only recent. The first time you had a bad one.
Yeah.
We walked outside of the gig and I didn't know what to say to him. And I was like, so you off tomorrow?
I went by, don't like, just
You
shut.
treated him like a taxi man.
You better be on to the left.
Meanwhile,
after
Joe was
that.
mad about that gig. Meanwhile, I was on stage down in my hole too, and I walked off, and he was like, "So how'd it go?" And I was like, "Don't."
That was one of those gigs
Just
where you
serial
can fucking
execution.
blame the audience.
Blame
Blame
the
it was in
MC.
a smoking area in Mullingar.
Yeah, yeah,
Ropey
absolutely.
gig, but
Mullingar away.
The
Fucking, that's a
MC's
tough one.
opening line. Hi, McCann's parents done it. It's like, Jesus.
And then so they're only jokes, was it? Was it?
Yeah.
oh, that was a
Oh, God. Anyway,
James
who's doing that?
Hamilton asked, "Do you have a process for writing material? Do you sit down, dedicate time, or just come to you naturally? Mixture of both."
I try to do a bit of both. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm sitting down to write, though, I often find it's never as good as if like something happens and I go,
That's it.
there
That's
has
a
to be
bit.
something in that. Like,
Yeah.
do you know, like that's kind of. Yeah, that's why too. I like putting myself in like kind of weirdish scenarios. Like I'll say yes to anything. Like I'll go see
Yeah.
anything.
That's how you're on
anything
this
like
pod.
that. Yeah.
Maybe 5 minutes of the new show with us.
In this new TV studio.
Land in the Libraries with 10 minutes on Visco.
Tell that full story. Just another week, 18 million. Ciaran Franco. Here's here.
You want name dropped and plugged in all this story? There you go. What we made. That's what we want.
But some admin on this one.
Oh, fuck.
But no, a mixture of both. Like, how do you guys write?
I've sort of changed it up recently. I used to be very like systematic and try and write things out because that's how I thought you had to do it. But see now that I'm getting more gigs and I'm MC, and I'm sort of like take the idea something happened, chuck it out, and sort of go that way about it.
Man, I used to write every single word. I used to type it out. I used to have all my sets typed out. And I would just, like, you know, at the back in libraries, whatever, if you're on, like, everyone's having a bit of crack in the green room, I would be away from that and I'd be reading everything. And then it got to the point where if I missed a word or anything, threw me off completely.
Yeah.
And then that's the only way that I stopped doing that. And then was like, oh yeah, it's way more fun if you have like a buzzword and then you take like a bit of a different walk to the well every time. Like,
Do you just know roughly what you're going to say?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's good. See, I was what was I going to say there? What was I going to say? Do you want to talk? I can't remember what I was going to say there. I was going to make a point about writing material there.
About
that's my
your
fault.
focus on
I
stage.
was trying to think. I was like, what the fuck was I going to
He
say?
had that all rehearsed and he missed the one word.
No, that's what I was going to say. Your rehearsal, yes. Writing material. I don't write the way I talk.
Yeah.
Does that make
You
sense?
said that to me before and I agree with you.
Whenever I write something down and say it, it comes across like a monologue.
Yeah.
Whereas if I just say something that
You
I
write
thought, I write script basically. And then speak script.
I feel you. I think for me personally, like the first couple of years I was doing it, I was writing it. It's so weird. It's like you're writing it as a comedian as opposed to yourself.
Yeah, so that's what
fuck.
someone recently says. It's like
That's
for
such a
the-
good way of putting it.
I think it was Bill Burr said this recently. For the first couple of years, you'll fuck around and you'll write the way you think comedians write. And then
wanna
one
write like
night
your
it'll
favourite.
click and you'll go, no, that's what I find funny and that's what I think shit's
Absolutely.
funny. And then you fall into that rhythm then.
Absolutely.
But I think that helps with writing styles when you find new shit and try new things.
And again, it's not like, you know, it's just like all them wee things are like it's just experience and comes with time and all this here and like it'll just
I love that. That gets
Yeah,
me
it's good,
fucking
yeah.
hard. Think
Yeah.
about that. Think about how much we're enjoying this now and it hasn't even clicked for us yet.
yeah.
Ah, yeah.
And now I
good
get to
point.
go MC and the nerves are kicking
But
in.
like,
The sweat
but like, each of you are like good comics, like already from where you are at, like, you know, like you've all done libraries and done well, and
Thank
like,
you
you
very
know
much,
what I mean?
Yes.
Sir, can I say something really cringy?
Go ahead.
You're the reason I got into stand-up.
Start it
It was a Dave Chappelle video you put up on Instagram where you met him and it was Chappelle talking about how you feel like a gladiator on it. And I remember watching that thinking, fuck, I'm gonna try it. So it was that video.
Man, well,
Do you know what the worst part of that is? He said the exact same thing to Shane Todd. And he said
He said the same thing to Jordy.
Said to Johnny Bow, said like we get it.
You're the reason I get into suits, boy.
said it to me when he first met me. Fuck's sake.
I've always wanted to say it, sorry, huh?
but that's
You're a
I'm
good man.
bad with compliments, so that's a lovely thing to say. Now
Let's move on.
Yeah.
I need the chat GPT response.
That's good, yeah.
That was I wrote that there.
No, I appreciate that really.
Talal Jamar asks, when's the last time you thought you might actually die here? Now, the way I
What,
read
like
that,
die
I
on stage,
don't,
or-
I don't think he means on stage.
I know, Talal. That means death.
Yeah, I think he means like actually like a near-death experience.
Being on that bus in Dublin.
Oh,
What was happening there now?
I was coming back from the crack then and fell asleep in the bus, and then the bus broke down, and then
Did you wake up when the bus broke down?
yeah, but they'd managed to tow it into the airport, and but I was in the airport garage completely by myself in the darkness, so woke
So
up
they
like.
locked them inside it.
Sorry, that's Goosebumps theme song stuff there. Like,
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
And I was
Dude,
like,
that's-
I was sitting there like, right, this is fucking weird, hey? And then I rang the guards, and he was like, this line's for emergencies only, and I started going, this is a fucking emergency. I was like, my phone's only got 44% battery, and then he was like, why are you telling me that? I was like,
When he
You're
got,
missing the point.
yeah.
when he got let out, he saw the cops. Will you bring me a taxi home? And I
Yeah.
went, no.
You're in Dublin. They're like, wait till the next. She goes go get a Burger King, and I went, for fuck's
She
sake.
goes, what you say to you? You're feeling very sorry for yourself.
You're clearly feeling very sorry for yourself.
Oh, I would have went fucking crazy at that.
I had a like a zip. I couldn't get my zip down, and I just ripped the cord apart in front of her.
Hulk Hogan.
Complete mental
Afterwards, you're
breakdown.
starting to defund the guards.
Yeah, so that was. I thought I was going to die. And
That is a scary one.
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
because it was like a lovely gig in the crack. Then I was like, what's better than this?
I was gonna say, did you at least have a good set? Because if you had a bad set and then that's
I
fucking.
could've-
Hang yourself in the seatbelt there.
Yeah,
like,
that's a tough one. Like,
No seatbelts in the bus, thank fuck.
fucking hell. I don't know. Have you had a near-death experience? These?
I had a ropey one in Thailand. We were on.
Oh, yes.
Fell off an
No,
elephant.
no, no. There was like an island we were on. It was called like Murder Island. So the whole time we were
Yeah.
kind of.
Well,
Sounds like a fucking
Yeah,
Scooby Doo
it's-
fucking movie. Murder Island.
that does.
I think you've yourself to blame for that.
No, but it was like one. It was one of the bad reputations. One person died in the 90s, and then Murder Island. Fuck
yeah.
me, like, you know what I mean?
It's like Rathline.
Yeah.
It wasn't Murder's Island. It was just Murder Island. Just one Murder
singular.
Island. Yeah. Fucking singer. So we were coming back from night out, and our accommodation was the bottom of the
Manslaughter
hill.
Island.
Yeah. And I seen one of the tuk-tuks that drive over there.
Yeah.
And I would like sometimes what people do is they jump on the back and like sort of hitchhike a free lift from them.
Right.
So I just seen this one. I was like, "Fuck, this boy's already going. I'm gonna jump in the back and get him lift to the bottom." So I jump in the back. And next thing it starts going a wee bit like fucking wobbling. I was like, "Shit, this is building up speed here. What the fuck?" And I was like, "Slow down." And then looked, there was no one in the back. And I was like, "Fuck, maybe I can climb into the back." So I started trying to shimmy around, and then I look, and there was no driver in it.
Wait, is this like it's always sunny?
What? Indiana Jones movie was this?
I don't know fucking.
And I'm like, in telling you drink like the bucket, so I'm obviously letting him like, there's no one in the back seat, there's no one driving. Holy fuck, and I go down this hill, like, I don't know, it's probably like 50 miles an hour in real life, but it felt flying.
The Asian Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Jesus
There's
Christ.
only 3 wheels on the thing, so I start like tipping and wobbling, and I was like, fuck's sake, so I had to jump off like mid-hill as it was coming down, and then did one in big dramatic rolls off to the side. And in my head, I don't know what happened to tuk-tuk, but what happened is it drove off into the distance, hit a tree, and exploded.
It's like, man.
Why have you
Why
never
did
told
it
us on
take you
stage?
10
Ellen?
minutes to go, I've had a near-death experience? That would be the front of my brain.
Yeah. I've never even thought of that story until I was last there now. Yeah, I've obviously just hit it deep down.
After those two fucking horror novels, I don't want to say mine. Like, I nearly died in the fucking lazy pool in Lisbon.
Lazy River?
The lazy
I got a bit too adventurous and dandered in with a summer scheme, and I just was going round and round, bopping up and down. I was like, "This is it, I'm gonna fucking die here." And thankfully, one of the camp leaders saw me.
And
came in and grabbed me.
There's a wee bit where you can get out, but it's quite a strong current. You're like,
Exactly.
You need to be ready to grab
You get it?
Oh fuck!
she's like,
I know
yeah.
the amount of cunts were like, "Why don't you swim out?" And I'm like, "Cause of your fucking the velocity."
It's difficult, like.
There's definitely a cover up for Lisburn swim pool. Like, there's been murders there. I'd say.
I'd love to do fucking.
Lisbon
I'd love to
swimmers?
go. I'd love to go now.
We
Probably
do
be
a
shite now.
podcast on Lisburn swim pool.
What's going down the penny drop? Or it's called the toilet flush? That's a big
flush.
debate.
That was a big debate. Yeah,
Catholics called it the penny drop.
I
Protestants
call
called
it penny drop.
I called it the penny drop.
What?
Yeah.
Toilet bowl?
Protestant.
No, penny drop, lad.
Penny drop.
I
Yeah.
never heard tell that.
Penny drop.
Well, the panties dropped for me now.
Toilet bowl.
Yeah, toilet
What the fuck? That?
It's like a toilet bowl.
I've never heard of that in my life.
Well, Jeff
Toilet
went down the
bowl.
swimmers. Went down the toilet.
Go down the toilet bowl.
Went down the toilet bowl in Lisburn swim pool.
Yeah.
I have heard of it in fairness, like, but penny drop.
Comment down below.
All right, penny drop or toilet bowl.
We're getting to the real question.
We'll get the analytics of your audience out of this one.
How are we
Spoiler,
for
it's
time, by the way?
99% men. No, do
go
women listen to
with
podcasts? Do you think, what's your analytics for your ones like?
Oh, they do, aye.
Couple of dolls.
Couple of cutties, you know.
Cuddies love podcasts.
Cutties do love podcasts.
Yeah.
Cutties do love podcasts.
Cully's a class word.
Yeah.
Guys, we did about an hour
Have you any more questions or
there.
no?
No, I'm all out of questions
yeah.
unless you've anything else.
I think I'm done as well.
Wrap it up. What a few things.
Yeah, wrap it up. Promote a few things.
Boys, thanks for having me.
been an absolute pleasure.
I really enjoyed this. You're a good set of lads.
Cheers,
Cheers,
man.
sir.
Cheers.
You alright now? You okay?
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Apologies for cringing you out, sir.
Apologies to me.
For what?
Cringing me out.
Oh, well.
Have you anything for there, Sean? RV Comedy Club?
Yeah, so I have RV Comedy Club every single Tuesday night. Must get you down sometime.
I'd love to.
We do like a mystery headliner spot, so you never know who's going to drop in. We've had Willie T, Mickey Bartlett, all the big dogs, you know. Everyone's dropping in, trying
All
new
the
materials.
shams.
It's fun as fuck. And then I'm bringing a show to Newry as well, so 24th of June as well, in Newry Shamrock's Bar. About 20 tickets left, so go grab them as well.
Fucking
I'll have
right.
a good night down in Newry.
My solo show Mooncat is on the 4th of July in the Out of Office Brewery. It's going to be class. Going to be played on stage to the Goosebumps theme song. So
A cappella.
yeah,
Please do that. Please do that.
for Mooncat, it kind of fits the title.
It does.
So please grab a ticket if you like Goosebumps and jokes.
My solo show, the first one is sold out. The second one, there's still some tickets left. It's in the Ashburn Hotel in Lurgan. It's on Sunday the 10th of September. We've got Sean Haggerty doing warm-up and support. Also, if there's anyone listening and watching who is from London, I'm over in London next week. I'm going to be in Vauxhall, Angel Comedy Club, South Kensington and Cafe Mode, whatever the fuck that means.
cool.
If anyone watches this from London, DM me and come watch me, please. That's it, guys.
Big Dog, the big show.
Waterfront Hall, 24th of June, please. And
Snap
thank
'em
you.
up.
I appreciate it.
Be there or be square. Mccann,
real.
thank you very much for coming on the
Thank you.
podcast.
Thank you for having me
Pleasure,
again,
man.
lads. Pleasure.
Before we wrap up, just want to say a quick thanks to the sponsors Monte Carlo, Love Pizza and Prize Royale. If you want to go on to Prize Royale, our brand new sponsor, they're doing a wee 15 discount. So if you want to get on your raffles, they're raffling off Pokemon cards, money, cash prizes, and not just one winner, plenty of winners.
Multiple winners.
Multiple winners in there.
All you have to do, by the way, if you want to make an account, you make a free account on Prize Royale. You sign up, they ask you a wee validation question. It's free to sign up, and then you can just buy as many tickets as you want.
You can watch the raffles being drawn on Facebook, or if you can't get on Facebook to watch it live, you can have them emailed to you after.
Unreal. Prize Royale.
Right,
That was
see yous all
nice how
again.
you said that.
Lovely, wasn't it?
That was nice.
It was almost like there was a strict
That
text.
was a lazy pool.
It's always the best, like, boys, get your shit in order for the new sponsor.
2 hour meeting that took.
We lazy pool ad read there. Went around you beautifully.
Mccann, thank you very much, lads. Thank you very
much.
much. We'll see you in the next episode every single Tuesday, 6 a.m. Good luck.
Good luck to you.